I'm about to say some really nice things about Sammy Hagar next on Heels and Quads.
Get all the people here tonight!
No slow songs at all.
We're the new thing.
None of us are from California. That's how come we don't sound like the Eagles.
Habitué of Hollywood's Star Sparks Sunset Strip. Hopping and bopping and popping with the best bet for the boss beat at the top of the pop smash gold. For those of you with the timely taste.
With Van Halen is we just finished our new album, and it's been in the making for quite a while here. We took most of the last year, 1983, to make 1984.
First of all, this is not the new Van Halen. This is the real Van Halen.
I mean, he can sing anything. Low, high, in between. I mean, like a baby, come on.
We barely take each other into consideration.
The music is what honestly inspires the lyrics.
A couple singers.
Yeah,
a couple 1, 2.
Well, it certainly wasn't anything premeditated. You know, it kind of
They
came.
quit.
Yeah.
It has the whole story. It has everything that you need to tell a story, and it's over from the time when it starts to when it ends.
Yes, you can be spontaneous for 20 minutes. Those of you who've been married for longer periods of time know exactly what I mean.
Welcome back, Heels and Quads Media here on YouTube. I'm Tommy, and I'm back after 2 weeks away with another Van Halen video. Although I did do an interview last week about, it's Van Halen adjacent, with Darren Pouchowitz, who has a new book coming out, will be released on January 1st. Go back and watch that interview. It was a fun time. We talked about David Lee Roth and his solo career. Here I am again talking about Sammy Hagar. The Van Hagar years. Doing it overall, like putting my list together before I start filming all these individually. I feel like once I hit 10, it just kind of like all fell together. And I know it feels like I'm beating up on Gary Cherone, which I did, and I actually said really nice things about Gary Cherone. Sammy Hagar now. It's not that I don't like Sammy Hagar. I do like Sammy Hagar. I love Sammy's solo stuff. It's just my Van Halen to me. I grew up listening to David Lee Roth. I mean, Sammy was in the band when I was born. This album actually that I'm about to talk about came out. I was a year old. I just turned 1 a week before this album came out. A week exactly before this album came out, I turned 1. But I grew up a David Lee Roth kid. I mean, I like Dave's solo stuff. I always liked David and Van Halen, obviously, and I was always the one that was kind of just like, I have to see Van Halen with David Lee Roth, and I honestly never thought it was going to happen until it did, and I'm glad it did. But I'm also glad that these albums happened, because there are good songs on these albums, and just because they're ranked lower on my list doesn't mean they're bad. This isn't like, it's not a hit piece. I'm not trying to like disown them or say that they're not, canon or anything. It's not all for me, and it's still the Van Halen brothers. It's still Michael Anthony, just a different singer, and there's nothing wrong with Sammy as a singer at all. So before I go any further into that, because I feel like I could do it all day, let me know in the comments what you think of this album and Sammy Hagar as the singer in Van Halen, because a lot of you are just like, I agree with you, this is where I would put it, or you're crazy, but nobody actually says, like, give me like an in-depth story of why you do or don't like Sammy Hagar and Van Halen. I'd love to hear it. And before I get into the album, subscribe, like, comment, let me know all of that, and also enjoy the video. Here we go. OU812 at number 9. At number 9, OU812, released May 20th, 1988. Van Halen's 8th studio album and second to feature Sammy Hagar on lead vocals. It was also the second album in a row to hit number 1 on Billboard. I've heard that the album title is a knock on Dave Lee Roth's first full solo album, Eat 'Em and Smile, which, while somewhat childish, is actually really funny because, let's face it, my sense of humor is basically fart and dad jokes. The album was produced in-house with a little help from usual engineer Don Landy. While not a bad album, honestly, it lands here due to lacking sonically, basically no low end. The keyboards in Van Hagar don't really bother me, nor do the ballads. Really, honestly, the ballads and Finish What You Started before I really started diving deep into Van Hagar years. For this, that was really all I would put on any Van Halen playlist I made with Sammy. Sammy's voice lends itself better to slower bluesy rockers like here with the aforementioned Finish What You Started or Black and Blue. It's also more of a Van Halen sound with harmonies taking us back to the DLR glory days. Or with ballads like When It's Love. Yes, it's a ballad. While I'm on that subject, can I say this? It's really annoying to me when these rocker YouTuber dudes whine about how much they hate ballads. Hey man, ballads got you laid back in the day. And just because you aren't banging your head to it doesn't make it a bad song. Grow up. Okay, ran over. Least favorite, Feels So Good. Yes, I know what I just said. I like ballads. I don't mind Synthetic Van Hagar. Sammy's voice is great on slow songs, blah, blah, blah. Harmonies, yeah. This isn't a bad song. It's not worst favorite song. This one, out of all the others, just didn't do it for me. Favorite song, Finish What You Started. Opening with a bluesy chicken pick riff that's rhythmically takes us through the song. Like mentioned before, I'd love some more bass on the whole album, and that's really lacking on this song here. But nice harmonies, and Sammy sounds great. Also, speaking of bass, Mikey's barely in the video. I mean, come on. Honorable mention, When It's Love. Send all your hate in the comments. I feed off of it. Little long on the intro here, but it's got a great harmonic, catchy chorus. Go ahead, rocker guy on YouTube that films in a dark room 100 miles away from the camera. Tell me when you're alone, you don't catch yourself singing or humming along to this song. I know I do. It's got a great groove and a beautiful solo from Eddie, and Sammy sounds phenomenal. Is it Unchained or Beautiful Girls? No. But good tunes is good tunes. That was OU812 at number 9 from 1988. It's not bad. It's really not bad. It's Van Halen further going into that synth where they started with 84, then 5150, which you'll see soon. Just progressed, and then for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, they kind of brought it back. And then Balance is that weird, like almost borderline grungy, quote-unquote, Van Halen record. And then that was it until A Different Kind of Truth, which we got, and that'll be coming up sooner than later also. It's got 4 singles on it, which is pretty impressive. I mean, every Van Halen song to a diehard Van Halen fan is a single, especially the first few records. I mean, I can pick any Van Halen song from the DLR years and be like, oh, that could have been a single easily. And, you know, I'm wrong. If it was going to be a single, it would have been a single. And I say that about all the bands I love. Like, you know, there's a ton of Kiss songs I'm like, oh, if that was a single, that would have hit number 1. That was the one that would have been their number 1 song. No, because it was out. If it was going to be a single, it would have been a single. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Tell me what you think about OU812. Tell me what you are going to put at number 8 on your ranking. And I'll see you next time with number 8. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. I didn't forget the fucking words that time.